Virginia, USA. For those of you who are going to watch this one later, this was a live from Virginia, USA, and the topic is education. You know, I'm very passionate about education. So we're going to talk about education. Can you think about the disadvantages of formal education? You know, education happens in many ways, but let's talk about the formal way, like, of learning, the modern education. Do you think the disadvantages of it? I think it's possible, but today we are talking about imagining a world without it. What if we didn't have this education? What would be missing? So, if you are seeing for the very first time, I'm Sherifa Nakalema in Virginia, USA. And on this channel, although on this Friday, this is Friday night. Right now, as I'm speaking, it's almost 11 p.m. USA Eastern Time. Normally, I come like around 10:30, 11 p.m. So if you're in another country, it will be like very early morning, your side. But I choose to do it at that time because I used to come early mornings, and then we switch it a little bit. So normally, when I come in these, it's just chatting. Please don't check facts, although we have facts. But I tend to quote some people. I do some research a little bit before I come. But it's casual discussion. So when you want to see me in a serious way, I'm in the videos. So in the videos, I talk about business, affiliate marketing, starting working from home, but doing affiliate marketing as a business. So that will be in the serious videos. This one is just a live. I chat with people. There are people here in the chat. And we're talking about, so please, if you care about what I say here, I say, take a step to make your life better, okay? So if you care about taking a step to make your life better, because that's what I will be talking about. I talk about making money, starting a business, personal development. How do you get better as a person? Okay, we know you have your degree, but was that enough? There is something called personal development, learning about the subconscious mind, the thinking, setting goals, stuff like that. That's what I talk about. So if that sounds interesting, consider subscribing and liking this one. You know the thing that all of you in the chat that you have failed to do? You don't add comments. Okay, you chat in the chat, but leaving a comment is different. You leave it on the video, like after. Like, what do you think about the chat? Okay, we are good at chatting. We chat and leave. Please, when you watch me like this, always add a comment, like it, share it, okay? That supports the channel. Thank you so much. Now, we are talking about education. I'm passionate about education. By the way, some of you who see me and I talk about starting your own business, it doesn't mean don't have formal education, don't have the degree, or even if it's not a degree. For me, I always say the minimum education at least is high school. Do you know why? Whatever the level is. If you are like in Uganda, where I come from, they call it, okay, HSC, but in America, it's high school. Equivalent, you're about to go to college, but not yet. It's still good enough because you can understand what's going on around you. But I also say you don't really have to go for getting a job and good benefits and all that. You can take the message. I like the message from the Robert Kiyosaki book, Richard Poddard book, because he's teaching us how to own a business, how to invest and do all that stuff. But I put it together like this. If you are going to start a business, at least have the formal education to that level, at least high school. Although these days to feel good, I think you want a college degree, right? The reason why I say that, by the way, what we're going to discuss here is the advantages of education. But I'm just putting like, what do you call it? I'm qualifying what I normally say, encouraging people to start their own businesses. They may think I'm saying you don't need education. Yes, you do. Because I always say, when you have a business, make sure you understand what's going on. You know, you could make the money and the people could be stealing it, and you don't even know what that is. Because Robert emphasizes that any person who is going to be successful has to know how to read the financial statements. And when he's talking financial statements, he means income statement or profit and loss and the balance sheet. So if you don't have a clue, like if you want to invest your money in a company and they bring out and these are, it could be like a publicly traded company, right? You know, those records are public. They're not hidden. You can go see them. But you could see them, you see the numbers, you don't even know what they mean. You're not ready for investing because you can't know if this is a company is good or not good. good? How is their cash flow? How are the assets, liabilities? If you don't know what those mean, then you need to learn what those mean. That's what we're talking about here today. What is the, how will the world be without this kind of education, right? So, yes, I support the message of starting a business, but learn, be like knowledgeable enough, educated enough to be able to talk to people. Apart from employees, okay, your managers and all that, but two important people, your lawyer and your accountant. You have to be able to have a conversation with your lawyer and you can follow whatever they are saying. You are a big business owner, but you better be able to understand what they're saying. Number two, your accountant. Especially here in USA, the laws are everywhere, the taxes and more taxes. You have to understand what the CPA, here they call them the CPA, that's the level you need if you want to run your business the right way. So, have enough education to be able to talk to your lawyer and your accountant and maybe your managers. Then you're good. You're good. If high school is enough, okay, that's it, that's good. Okay, how are you? Salma, how are you? Oh, Maria, you made it? Mariam, you made it? Mariam Foods? This person I don't understand. Who is the trust account? Who is hiding in the trust name? Janet, welcome. Where is doctor? Let me see. Is doctor here? Let me see. What name is he using? Karimakuewa, welcome. I want to know this person, the trust account. Where are you? Okay. I did a little research before I came. You know, these things just happen to me in the brain. I say, oh, what can I talk about? I said, let's talk about education. But then I went in the internet, I found someone talking about a similar thing that I was saying, because I said, imagine a world without education. And I found someone actually. It just came to me like that, but then I found someone who wrote about it. And they had some points about imagining a world without education. And some people are actually tackling it very differently. The other one was talking about a world without education using the basic needs, like the needs of a person, you know, the psychological needs. But I didn't like that approach. I thought it's too technical and boring. You can go with the approach of they call it what? Let me check here. I want to use the right name for it. I'm going on the internet here a little bit. By the way, we're going to talk about the difference between the internet and the World Wide Web. Do you know the difference? It's one of the things I'm going to mention here. So, you know, the psychology has that, they call it which law? I'm trying to get the right name for it. You know, the needs of the person, the needs we all have, the physiological needs, safety and security needs, love and belonging, self-esteem, self-actualization. So he was discussing education in connected to those needs, that these are the needs you have as a person. So how does education factor into that for you to fulfill those needs? So if you want that approach, you can take that approach. But I like the other approach of someone who was just listing the importance of education. How does it affect us? So I'm going to run through a few of them here. And then I have also a list of things, the conveniences that we have in our world, in our life, that we wouldn't have if we didn't have the education. So that's what we're doing. Let me first list, how many are they? The one that I got, I think they had like 12 things that relate directly to you or to me. Like if we didn't have education, what would happen, or the advantages of having an education. I'm going to go really quickly, okay? So then, by the way, I didn't ask if you hear me good, you see me good. You're not going to be ranting on and you're not even hearing me. Please give me some feedback before I continue. Can you see me? Can you hear me good? Hey, Rookie Cook is here too. Have you noticed? We have someone in the house. Rookie Cook, welcome. We're talking education here. You are... Okay, okay, that's good. So, the points that I found online, let me read them really quickly. You think about your own life, okay? Loud and clear, thank you. So, he said, that was a he, I think, that with education, you are able to get a good job. Of course, a good job, more money, right? Assuming things are working out well for you, you have the education, the jobs are available, you get a good job. And you get a good social reputation. These are not my points. I got them. Let me quote the person, by the way. Can go there. Where I got these. Just a second. Is it still open? I got them from... No, let me first list them. I think I closed it. But I didn't take all the points, though. All the points they had. I just picked out a few. You get a good job, make more money, assuming, like an economist would say, ceteris paribus, I think, assuming everything is equal. Everything is good. Otherwise, there are people with good education without the good jobs, right? But other things equal, you get a good job, you make more money. Social reputation. Now, that's number one. Number two, equality. And when you talk about equality, you talk about like between men and women. That's the equalizer. Like if they all have the same education, assuming, actually you better be not in USA. I understand women in USA are paid, is it 70% less? Oh no, 30% less. They get 70% of what the man gets. That's strange. For me, I got my first job in Uganda, we were paid the same, men and women the same, as long as you have the same degree, but here it's different. That's weird, actually. So you get equality, assuming according to this one, that education is the equalizer. Once you get the education, you can compete with a man with a woman, and also the social classes. Like someone from a poor class could find themselves going up because of the education. Number three, you become wise and independent. Do you know what I thought about there? When you become wise and independent, you think about like your mom and dad. If your mom and dad didn't go to school, do you know the more you go up, the more you go to school, the more years you spend in school, at some point, you start like, they don't even know what you're doing. You left them. You are now independent. You are the one like teaching them things. So that's education that's creating that. You become wise and more independent. And you can make your own decision, like for your child, right? Number four, respect in society. You know that? You know when you are not educated, when they're having their meetings, they look at you like you are not there. But the educated ones, but anyway, even money can make you like respected, but let's stick with education. That was number four. Number five, here says it saves you from being fooled, being cheated, being lied to, being exploited, because you have the logic, right? Yeah, that helps. Number six, says this is what differentiates between developed countries and developing countries or underdeveloped countries is education, the elites. Because at this point, I want to mention something. You know, we have here in USA, we have the lottery, the DV lottery, what they do, and people just do the lottery and they pass through to come to America. You are allowed to get a green card by just lottery. But do you know that if you don't have at least high school education, they don't take you? Like, okay, you could go through, your name is picked, but then they come back and look at you. They look at your health, they look at your education, they look at security, whether you have some bad things you've done in your original country. But the important factor is education. So if you don't have at least high school education, you cannot come to America. They cannot approve you to come. Okay, in other ways you can come. Maybe you are someone's child, you could come. But when it's the lottery, you cannot come unless you have high school education. That's how they level themselves to be up there. Because I watched something here in USA that's not strange, but there's a lot of paperwork. Like if you are going to get a driving permit or driver's license to drive, they just give you this paperwork and they expect that you understand what's going on. You're supposed to fill it out. You have no help. They assume everyone has at least high school education. And here, you know, education is free up to high school. The buses will pick you up. If you're not in school, you are against the law. Your children have to go to school. So that is the difference between a developed country and a non-developed country, underdeveloped country, is education, literacy. And of course, it goes without saying that with more education, you get paid more and standard of living is higher. Okay, so that's education. Number 7, it makes you more confident. It makes you more confident because now you know something about But that doesn't matter even if it's not the other kind of education in school. Anything. When you know something, you speak more confidently. So it says you become more confident. Number 8, you understand. Okay, that you understand what's going on. What they're talking about is like, you know the history, you know the science, you know the math. It's like you know what's going on. Well, you can figure things out because you are educated. Number 9, you have peace and security. You know, they're saying that when the community, when society is educated, well, I'm not so sure about that. People like here in the USA, they're using guns and security, maybe not security, but okay, they're assuming you there is peace and security because people, they have the money, they're less thieves, people stealing people's stuff, breaking into homes, stuff like that. That's what they mean. The advantages of education. Number 10, healthcare. By the way, I'm going to involve you. Let me first list these. I have a part where I'm going to involve you, the discussion. Number 10, healthcare. Yes, they say educated people take, is that true though? They take good care, better care of themselves. They know what is good for them and what's not good for them. Is that true? Do you agree that the more educated they are? I don't know about that, because they talk about America being obese, but people know it's junk food, they still eat it. They're educated people, but they still do make wrong decisions. I don't know about that one. Okay, number 11, adapt to changes in technology because you are educated, especially right now. Number 12, which is the last one. The last one is the one where I'm going to involve all of you. It's called overcoming superstitions. I found that very interesting. You know, they had a list of over 50 superstitions. I said, what? The people believing in weird things. So that education helps you to not to believe in superstition. You see something, someone saying something, you say, You know, when we grew up, they were saying, you don't sweep your house at night. You don't sweep your house at night? But I think, you know what they were doing? They were adding in something scary. Why you shouldn't sweep your house at night? But I think they were actually worried about losing some things. Because you sweep at night, you may lose something, you throw it out without noticing, maybe something small. But they'll add on something. For example, in my culture, where we grow up, the women are supposed to kneel down when you're greeting elders. You kneel with your legs straight to kneel properly, right? It's just good manners. But you know what they used to tell us? That if you don't, you'll never be able to have children. But maybe they were right a little bit, because if your bones are not straight, that's how we end up with sometimes with C-section and stuff. But they would say, if you don't kneel like your legs lined up properly, you will never have children. But I think they were just teaching manners. Is that a superstition? So what superstitions do you have? Where I'm going next is, we're going to talk about the advantages of education in connection with inventions. So I'm going to list some inventions, and I think you're going to have fun with these inventions that I'm about to show you. So let me first ask you, what? It's not true? It's not true. Okay. So let me ask you, let's first have fun with those superstitions, because there were so many I was laughing. Never wear red, doing smile, never face this side when you're doing what? Never do that. I said, what? Where are all these things? So what superstition do you know that you used to believe it, now you don't believe it because you are educated? Because remember, we're talking education. Janet, you tend to have nice things to say. Mariam Foodies, are you still here? Mariam, have you noticed someone called Mariam Foodies? I'm about to introduce Mariam Foodies. You see, she cooks a lot of good food. She's about to come in our community. I wanted to understand who this person is. The one who has trust account. Who is this person? Are you still here? Please, I need to know who you are because you are new. Welcome, Mariam. Welcome, Janet, of course. Without Janet, this chat is boring. Rookie Cookie, welcome, Mrs. Mariam. That's another Mariam. Salma. Let's see up here. You know, we did this at a weird time. Most people, like people in Ghana, are sleeping, but it's okay. So, what's prostitution? I'm going to the list of the real deal, where education really helped the world. Okay? So I have, let me first remove my friend Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I have a nice things here that I researched are very interesting. So let me ask you, because I don't want to just be reading things. What is the Salma? No, not Salma. Let me ask. Ask Mariam, either Mariam Foodies or Mariam Essence. Tell me, what is the biggest invention? Something you use every day that you say, you know what? Without education, I would have missed that one. Because without education, if people didn't understand math and science and all those things, they'll not be doing all the discoveries they're doing. So maybe you want me to read the list, or you can mention something. What would you do, Dr. Kalema Kiwewa? What do you think is the biggest invention in your, because that came about because of education? You know, I can tell you a story of, maybe I don't know if you call it an advantage or disadvantage. You know, my mom had 9 children, but she never had any one of them in the hospital. She would just deliver the baby. The other day I was talking to a lady when I went to Uganda. Is it when I talked to her? She was telling how she had, I think, 13 children, but she would do it alone with no help. She said, I would prepare everything I need, and I would leave the house. My husband would be in the house, and I would go in the kitchen, and that's where I would deliver my baby. I said, why don't you call him to help you out with something? He said, nah, just gonna bother me for nothing. I just go, deliver my baby, take care of it. I said, what? I could not believe it. She had 13. My mom had 9. She also never delivered anyone in the hospital. So I'm wondering, what's that? What's that? When now you find that delivering even just one baby is not easy. So what's changed? We can say that maybe disadvantages of these modern things, because a long time ago, people used to respect those herbs. The herbs, like the herbs. You know, the herbs, that's where they make the medicine. The modern medicine comes from trees and herbs, but people used to use those medicines, those herbs, and their bodies were fine, were normal. But now you have a baby, you are pregnant, but you don't do anything. You just wait to deliver the baby. The body is not prepared. I think that's what happens. It's just me. I'm not a doctor. But I think that's what happened. Those people took those herbs very seriously. They would drink, they would bathe in that. And by the time the baby came, the body was ready. It's just simple to do. Let me see. When a black cat crosses the road and you see it, it means bad omen. What? It had to be black. Black cat. How about the people who believe that when you are going somewhere and you meet a female, like you step out of the house and going somewhere and the first person you meet is a female, you go back. You don't go. You have to wait until you come back and meet a male. That you get bad luck. You remember that? You remember that? Hajati, Rookie Cookie is saying hello to you. Okay, let me go through a list of these. You are going to appreciate them. And you know that the first one I wanted to start with, or maybe to end with, or to start with. Let's start with it. The invention of, because I don't want to go back to let's start with the modern thing that you see, that we're using right now, which would be the internet. Because when I was looking at the inventions that changed the world, I saw they were listing the internet. They're also listing the World Wide Web. Okay? So I found that interesting. Do you know the difference between the two? Who can tell me the difference between internet and World Wide Web? You know how you go on the when you're going to the website, you have to put www. That's the World Wide Web. So who knows the difference? Anyone? I'm going to ask Mariam Essence. Assuming you are here. Do you know the difference between the internet and the www? Okay, I'll leave that as an assignment. We're going to come to it later. Now, let me go to the greatest inventions, okay? Number one is, so imagine a world without these things. Because remember, we are talking about a world without education. Without education, we wouldn't have these. So, number one, the compass. The compass. Why is the compass so important? Why is it so important to know the north and south and east? Why? Who knows? Why is it important? Please like it. Remember to like the live and also to share. Are you sharing? I don't think I liked it myself, by the way. Let me see. Okay, I liked it too. Looky Cookie, did you remember to like it? Okay, I'm going to go through them really quickly so you don't stay here too long. It said the compass. I found that interesting. What if we didn't have the compass? We'd just go without knowing which direction, right? Number two, I have of course, the automobile. Is that how you say it? Automobile, the cars. Okay, anything like the cars. That's what they mean. Then they talked about crude oil. Because crude oil, that's to get the fuel, right? Then the airplane. Oh, that one is interesting. In fact, when you sit on it, that's when you know that these people, I wonder how they did it. It flies, and then it comes down. It goes up in the air. Do you know when you're flying, you are on top of the clouds? Like, you would think that maybe the clouds are on top of you, but you are actually on top of the clouds. The clouds are under. You can look and you see the clouds down. That's a miracle, right? Those people were very smart. Okay, fire. They said fire, and that's one of the earlier inventions, right? Fire is a good one. Then they talked about the nail. Can you imagine a nail? A nail that you use, you know, the hammer, and you use a nail, like when you're building something. They said the nail is important. Then they talked about the light bulb, light bulb. Then electricity. Then the battery. Like the battery, I don't know why the battery is so important, powering things up, right? Then they talked about the printing press, the telegraph machine. Then they talked about steel. These are some things we don't even think about, but these are affecting our lives daily. Transistors, they are like for modern electronics, right? Then antibiotics, isn't that interesting? Janet, antibiotics are one of the greatest inventions, they say. Then contraceptives, can you imagine a world without contraception? Wow. You know how many people would be in this world? If every woman who could have a child did, like those ladies I just gave you examples of, the one who had 13 children. So if every woman had like maybe 10, 13, wow. The overpopulation would be everywhere. So that's a great invention, contraceptives. Use of x-rays in the hospitals. That's another one. You know the next one? I think Rookie Cook is going to appreciate this one. The refrigerator. Being able to refrigerate things, food. Yes. And then how about who wants a television? That would be Essence, Mariam. The television. Can you? But I think you can do without television if you have the World Wide Web and the internet. The television can go. I'll be one to vote no to television. Then another one is the camera. Can you imagine? The camera. And the computer, of course. And then the invention of email. I think you can do without email if you have text messages. What do you think? And then that's when we had the internet and the World Wide Web. Did you give me the answer? No one try to answer it? What's the difference between the internet and the World Wide Web? I'm still want an answer. Someone go to Google, find out, because I think we need to understand. Many people don't know. I know it was different, but I never focused on it. But the internet is not the same as the World Wide Web. Okay? Let's find out the answer. Who's getting it for us? Okay, another one. Let's see. What else did they invent? The currency. They're talking about currency. Do you know the history of the currency? If you went to understand the history of money and how they started using money, it's actually very interesting. So currency, then they say the introduction of credit cards. You know, credit cards, debit cards, that's also a good invention for developed countries because you can go shopping without any cash. And then they talk about the ATM machine because you can go get out your money without, even when the bank is not open, you can get out money from a machine. Okay, another one is the telephone and of course the cell phone. Woo, that one. Okay, forget the telephone, but the cell phone, that has changed the whole world. How about the robot? They have a robot, it does complicated things, repetitive things. And the other day I was watching the news actually, they were talking about recycle. The recycle, you know, the trash with things we throw out, and they're figuring out how to recycle them into new things. But they were saying that they were losing most of it, a large percentage, because of labor. They don't have the people to sort it like, okay, this is plastic, this is a bottle, this, like separating it, this is paper, and until they got this robot. They did the technology to AI actually to sort them. They were showing how the machine works. It knows, like if it goes like this, it knows that that's paper, that's plastic, that's it, and it picks it quickly and sorts them. A person could not do what they were doing, like that fast. So that's a solution. It's because of these robots. Okay. This one, I didn't plan to say this one, it just came on the list. You know what it is? Let me say something else first. I'll say it last. Okay, they talked about films. Can you imagine? Film? That's a great invention. I don't know. Okay, the last one I was about to say is the invention of guns. Can you imagine? Guns? That's sad, actually. The fact that they invented guns. That was a bad one. They would have left us without those guns. Something that kills a person in just a second. That's not good. I'm not even. If I was speaking on TikTok, I think they would stop my live. I don't know if YouTube is not as sensitive. That's not a word I should even be using. Okay, so that's the internet. Who found out the difference? No one did. People, what's the difference? I'm waiting for you to do it. Salma is not here. She will be the one to find it. What's the difference between the internet and the World Wide Web? Please put it in the chat. Did you find out, Janet? Did you find out? What's the difference? We are learning because here I'm just speaking. You're not participating. So can we find out the difference? Because it's really important. Who is offering to do it? Who is offering to do it? I can go on the internet and find it, but it'll be, let's see. Okay. Oh, thank you. She did it. Thank you. Essence did it. Okay, yeah, that's Mariam. Internet is an enormous network of networks. It is the massive computer network that connects the device using copper wires, wireless networks, or fiber optic. Wow, that one is even more complicated. Okay, since you got that, let me get you the one I got, the simpler one. That one is really complicated. They made it simple like this. The internet is a global network of networks. So that one, Mariam, is more detailed. Is global network of networks. So what about the World Wide Web? Because when you hear World Wide Web, you may think they're actually talking about the network, but the network is separate. So did you get the answer for that too? Thank you. I thought you forgot. What about the World Wide Web? What is it? Maybe for those of you who are watching, you don't know what, I don't expect people to watch up to here. Please, if you watch this replay, when you come and watch it up to here, like you hear me talk about the difference between the internet and World Wide Web, add in the comments that I was able to hear you say it. Because most people, they come late and they watch just a little bit, they find, oh, that's too long, they go. Okay? But we are learning something here. We are learning something that, by the way, they talked about other things that I didn't mention. The ones that were invented, like the wheel, the steam engine, the concrete. Concrete is funny. Concrete? concrete was invented. And then they talked about, yes, crude oil, locomotives, like tools. Tools. They were talking about tools, like a hammer, like having like Rukia, Ruki cookie. He would appreciate a hammer. They talked about nails and hammer. People have been busy inventing things, I'm telling you. I don't know if you are still inventing. Okay, Mariam, did you find the difference? What is a World Wide Web? And you know, the way to understand these things is to see them together. Like, okay, what's the internet and what's the World Wide Web? I had recorded here something that says, that made it simple, okay? For those of you who are able to listen up to now and those of you in the chat, this is what I got as in the short difference. I mean, easy difference between an internet and World Wide Web. It says the internet is a global network of networks. So wires interconnected. And then the World Wide Web is a collection of information that accessed via the network. So the network allows you to get to the collection of this information. That's, you know, those websites, they are like over there. But without the internet, you can't get to them. So you need the internet to get to the World Wide Web. I don't know if that helps. That helps? The two are not the same. So if someone is saying www and another one is saying internet, they're saying two different things. I think the internet is more important. What do you think? We could work with the internet without the World Wide Web. We can connect and do other things without going onto the web. Okay? So I think that's all I had to say. But before I end this, I wanted to ask you, what do you think are the disadvantages of education? Do you know any? I didn't look for any, but I'm thinking there are disadvantages. What do you think, Dr. Kiwe, are you still here? What do you think is the bad thing about education? Like this invention that they did, I think the gun will be one of them. It's bad that they were able to, I wish they were not smart enough to create that one. I wish they left that alone. Because they destroyed the whole world. Okay, do you have anything to say? Of all these things that I read about the invention, which one did you like the most? Which one is more fascinating? I think for me, I would say, although they are like, they work together, I could say that, okay, it's the internet. Because the internet has done things like right now, how many countries do we have right here? How many places? We're all right here connected right now because of the internet. And I think the World Wide Web. Is it involved here too? Is YouTube on the World Wide Web? See? But without the electricity, we'll not be doing it. You see? Without the phones and computers, we'll not be doing it. So they're all interconnected. Okay? So what do you think about this stuff that we're talking about? Add some comments. Add some comments. Today you're not being very funny, Miss Hajat Janat. Normally you make me laugh a lot. Let me see. The internet. Mariam, you pick the internet. I think so too. The internet is amazing. It made things so easy and cheaper. Oh my goodness, amazing. Yeah, I agree. But then it works with other things, or it won't work. Like the one who invented the phone, that one was also smart. They're all smart people. So what I'm going to invent, Mariam, now that you have the internet, how are you going to use it to invent something also? What are you going to invent? By the way, I'm done with this. Let's discuss a few disadvantages of education, then I'll close it. What do you think is the disadvantage of education? People becoming too smart, like they're not too much. What do you think? What do you think? Let's list a few and then we call it a day. I'm going to go live on TikTok. You agree with what, Janet? I don't know what you agree with. I said too much. What do you agree with? Which one of these inventions do you consider? Okay, you picked internet. I think the airplane is good too, because how would you go to these places? Like go to one place to another? You didn't even comment on the campus. I don't know why a campus was so important. You have to know where you're facing, right? Refrigerator, okay. Television, camera, currency. Let's see. Disadvantages of a formal education, overload of information, which does not add value towards. Yes! Like people are getting confused. Okay, someone put in the chat the one disadvantage of education, that overload of information which does not add value towards one successful life. I think I agree. I think young people right now, they're actually overwhelmed. Like you see, someone saying this here, over there, over there. You don't know even what to follow and what to believe. And you know what's going on now? Fake news. Now people are just using this chat GPT, the AI, to create whatever they want. They can even use my voice and go put in something like I'm speaking when I'm not even there. It's crazy. Yeah. Internet. I commented on AI. Okay, where did you comment on AI? I didn't see it, Janet. But these robots, oh, I didn't see it. Yeah, okay. They're increasing unemployment. Yes, but they're doing some good things. But unemployment, yes. Do you know what's going on? Before I was talking about, oh, go learn how to write email, line and man. People are just saying to the robot to do things, and the thing is doing it in 30 seconds. So I think people who have been on Upwork, these websites, they must be, maybe they have to use the AI themselves to do even more. But seriously, if you don't know your English really good, the chat GPT is taking your job. Yes, that's so true. And guess what? I think let me end it by saying, yeah. I saw that, sister. Sorry, Janet. I didn't see it. I saw it again. Yeah, they're taking the jobs, but there also things are happening that are so weird. You have to be very, very careful. You can't believe what you see, especially on this internet. Someone just sits and creates something and you believe it. The other day I was seeing photos of Prince William and whatever. They were making them like hug and shake hands, but things had not happened. Kind of, that's sad. That's why for me right now, I only get news from one source. I won't say it, but one source only. That's where they line up their news. Once I get that, I'm done. Because the rest of it, I can't believe it. Okay, let's see. Disadvantages of education, that it makes some people think they know everything. No, I don't think anyone can say they know everything. No, they don't. Essence, I think maybe that's what you think, but I don't think so. Guess what? You may think of the smartest person, right? Maybe a doctor. Okay, the doctor has stayed in the book so long. But if you brought a doctor, remember I was talking about the importance of knowing the financial statements, like reading the books, like a CPA produced some books for the doctor may not be able to interpret those statements. Okay, you could be smart in your field of study, but you can't be smart in everything. Essence, don't worry about those people. They are pretending. There's something they don't know. There is something they don't know. So, okay, let me close this by saying that, do you know that knowledge is power? And knowledge, especially right now, it can make you a lot of money. Do you know that? They said that if you spend 10,000 hours studying one thing, and spend 10,000 hours, that's a lot of hours, right? Remember last time I did the fuzzy math. Let me bring my calculator again. This girl, Mariam, yeah, this girl, Mariam. Let's see. How many hours do we have in a year? Fuzzy math is back. 24 times 365, right? So each year, if each year has 8,760, they are saying that if 8,760, so 10,000 hours. Have you heard of that before? I'm trying to get how many years. Oh, it's not even much. It's just over 1 year. But they said if you spend 10,000 hours, but focus on one thing, and you are trying to understand it and study it, and It makes you an expert. It makes you an expert over many other people. But assuming you focus on just one area. So, how about we pick one thing we like and focus the 10,000 hours. And once you do the 10,000 hours, now you are an expert. And these days, you can create a course, you can create whatever you create and then automate it and pays you money. Or if it's a job, you're going to get a very good job if you focus on just one thing. So tell me, what are you going to focus on? Let me ask you as I close this. Janet, what will you focus on and put 10,000 hours and be able to make money with it? Because it's going to make you an expert. They're going to start looking for you, the expert in whatever. What would it be, Janet? What would it be, Essence? What would it be, Dr. Kalema? What would it be, Salma? Salma can hear me, but I think she can't type. What would it be, Mariam Foodies? Are you still here? What would it be? You know, I never got to know that person. Trust account. I didn't get to know them. What would it be? Let's conclude so that this session is not a waste of time. Some of you who come to watch it later, assume you're going to end to get here to this point. I don't know, because it's becoming long. What would it be that you really would love, that you want to spend 10,000 hours learning so you become an expert? Because with this information age, anything is marketable. You can sell it. So if you become an expert in something, you just package it and automate it. Maybe it's a download something. Let me see. Oh, look at cookie taxes. You don't even need 10,000 hours. Maybe 10,000. Good for you. Okay, that's good. That's a declaration. Start recording the hours. If you get to 10,000 mastering that craft, you're going to be an expert. You start YouTube channels. You know, if you had a YouTube channel here, look at Cookie, I'm talking to you, and you're teaching people about the basics of taxes, like the people like us, the small business people, and the personal taxes. You do like, let me cut this off. You record videos and put them in a playlist. Okay, you are teaching personal finance, and you teach them. You teach small business, you teach them. You teach state taxes, federal taxes, and just a website. You know those are the highly paid YouTube channels? Is a finance channel like that. If you recorded a video and it was like 30 minutes explaining something to do with taxes, things that people really want to learn, the YouTube pays you because they put ads on it, but those are the highly paid YouTube channels. Did you know that not every video is the same? When they monetize and put ads on the videos, they don't pay the same. Entertainment is the cheapest. A view of entertainment is like nothing. But a view of something educational, something finance, something serious, they pay it more. Did you know that? So if you come and record videos, look here, I'm talking to you. You can create a good passive income because all you have to do is record the videos and put them on YouTube. YouTube will promote them for you. People are going to come searching for them. So all you package things, and people can download or an ebook, whatever. You just put in some time to develop it. It will bring money forever. Though taxes, the disadvantage is they change laws. They change laws every year. So you may have to go in and edit. Go in and edit or record something else to edit whatever you said last year. Because whenever they change here in the USA, they change like cycles of presidents, like when they vote a new president or something, they tend to change laws. So you have to keep updating, but still, you can do it. Okay, let's see. You said taxes. Who else? Janet, what are you going to become an expert in? Remember, I'm closing this one. You're going to be an expert in what? 10,000 hours. You do walk. You walk. I'm proud of you for walking. I walk with you now. I started walking too, daily, because of your walking, Janet. Yeah. Rookie Cookie. Think like that. You're going to package it, and YouTube is going. By the way, you can teach stuff like that without even showing your face. Rookie Cookie. You can teach people without showing your face. You record your voice and you show them things, and they'll be very, very happy. Okay, how about Dr. Kalema Kiwewa? What about you? What are you going to do to focus on 10,000 hours, package it, and it feeds you forever. How about Janet? No. Mariam. I asked Janet already. Mariam, what are you going to package? What do you think I should package? You advise me also, the ones who are watching. What do you want? What do you think I should do? I could package? I don't know. I'll think about writing a book. If I wrote a book and told my stories, I think they'll be interesting. For some people who know me, they would love to buy the book. I don't know if it would inspire many others. I have some inspirational stories. Okay, thank you all so much. Walk. You are not going to sell walk, are you? You work for 10,000 hours and you sell it? I don't know if it makes you an expert. Do you walk differently every day? You become an expert. You teach people different styles of walking. Janet, I don't know about that one. I'm not so sure. But fitness, I think it sells good too. But entertainment alone is not good. The view is very, very cheap. It's the cheapest view that we have on the internet. It needs to be educational. Thank you all so much for supporting this. I come every Friday. If you have a topic you want to suggest, how about you suggest it? When I come on this day, I come with things like this, like general. They're not serious stuff. But then in my own videos, in fact, I'm going to start a series of just business tips, small business tips. Thank you so much. Janet is here, yeah. Small business tips is my new series. I finished the series for affiliate marketing. All the basics are on here. And also soon, I'm going to debut a video here where I'm showing off all the YouTubers we have. We have a few new ones coming. So we're going to start supporting each other. Those of you who want to start YouTube channels, text me, or if you have you watch this, I don't think you're going to watch to the end after here. But if you did and want to be in my network of YouTubers, Kalamachiwa, you've been quiet. I said, what are you going to package in 10 hours? You didn't answer. Yeah. Janet walks regularly. Ask her to share a video whenever she walks. She walks daily. She's been inspiring me. I've been walking too. Okay, so thank you, Dr. Nakalema Kiwewa. Please take that note about the 10,000 hours. Think of that thing that you're going to master and package it. But there's what we call, what's the term they call it? Evergreen. Ever heard of the term evergreen? Evergreen means something that's to be relevant for a long time. Like Lukia cannot do evergreen because the taxes change, the numbers change, the percentages change, things change, the laws change. But evergreen is something, if you're teaching something and that thing doesn't change. Like if you're motivating people, I think you can record a video and it's going to be relevant forever. So evergreen. Make sure when you're recording things, the thing you pick is evergreen so that it's going to be needed for a long time without requiring you to go back and edit it. Because if you have to go back and re-record, I've seen people who fail like that. Like it becomes irrelevant and then you have to go and start over to re-record it. Like if you are teaching like social media right now, it's a bad business to be in. If people are changing things every single day. Like you're teaching people TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, maybe YouTube, but they change things every day. So you have to be careful if you're teaching something like that. You have to keep editing and editing. Okay? Okay, it's nice that Janet and Rookie Cookie got to meet. So you can continue. You want me to keep it open so you chat a little bit? Malaysia and Washington, or you want me to close it? You want to enjoy each other's company for another minute or no? Or you want to be on Zoom? Okay, thank you all for who watch this. This is casual stuff just to get you thinking. But in my serious videos, soon I'm going to start business tips. Just about business tips. There's a lot I learned actually. I realized I need to put it in videos so that I get tips. If you want to start a business, you already have a small business, I'm going to start a series just sharing tips. Something as simple as separate the records. Look here, I would appreciate that. Separate the records. Don't bring, okay, you are something the business expense, and next you have grocery shopping. With grocery list, you want to buy food, and then you added in some whatever, business expense. They're all on the same receipt. No. So separate the accounts, make it easy for people like Rookie Cookie. Thank you all so much. Have a good day. We are here every Friday around 10:30, 11 p.m. US Eastern Time. I'm in Virginia. And when you convert it, you know your local time. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. Remember to add comments, okay? Add comments on the video, please.